has no food. And if the money can provide that food for that child has a better chance of succeeding or a better chance of even surviving, depending on the places that we live here on this earth. So we can see here, and we explore a little bit more, and why even Paul used the word in that passage, love for money. And you're going to explore more. That is the crux. That is the biggest issue that us in society, we are replacing the value of love. We are guided to love in a different way. And sometimes in our society, we put this money above the love that we are encouraged to have, which we are going to see shortly. And that it's not only with money. What are the examples that we can have if we kind of reverse the order, or we give a certain a more importance than it should have? Money is one. We can have for power. Power is another one that, depending on how the person that has power, depending on how they decided to exercise that power, it's not aligned with the divine laws, and it won't generate the results. And that person will not use power the way they are invited to use to learn something, right? And we can talk more about the abuses of drugs or even sex. There's many other things that if we misplace those things in the wrong order or wrong importance, we are going to reap not the benefits, and we might be failing in our mission here. Chico, I found this analogy brilliant. It was one of the highlights for me. Chico, in a book called Entrevistas, Interview, he doesn't mention which was the spirit, but the spirit's guide and use an analogy of money. An analogy is with blood. So what is the function of blood in our body? Circulates oxygen, right? The same way money in the society is to circulate things that are required for that society to function, like healthcare, education, war, science, culture, human development. The same way that blood helps our body to function, money has a similar function to help society to function. What happens when we have blood that doesn't circulate? It's clogged. What happens with our body? There is even a disease. What is it? Death. It's a thrombosis, right? Thrombosis, is that right? Like it's clogged, and the blood cannot flow. That's the same way. If the money, the money is a resource that is lended to us, right? God gives the money to us so we can practice it. But if we decided not to do it and block and just use the money for our own sake, for our own pride, for our own selfishness, it stops circulating, and then we have a newness. The same way that blood stops and can cause a newness for ourselves in our body, if we decided to clog and stop circulating money in the society in a good way, circulating for education, for health, work, what have you, that's what he calls a thrombosis in the social organism. So I found that it was a very easy way, very easy for us to connect into something that it happens in our body and how we're invited to react, and what we're invited to do with the wealth and the money or the resources that are being given to us. Because if we decided just to keep to ourselves, it's a blockage that prevents from reaching where it is needed, right? So the problem, is that a problem that we have blood? No, because otherwise we won't be here breathing. The problem is the blockage. The problem is with when we withheld and we decided that we just need money for my own selfishness purpose. So the same way, the problem is not money. The problem is our greed, our misuse, and our selfishness. So, and we can even establish another parallel. I really like the parable of the talents. Money can be one talent that we might have been given, depending on each one of us have our own situation, are incarnated here for a purpose. The same way, what happens in the parable of talents? If you remember, one servant had 5 talents. One other one had 2, and another one had 1. The one that had 5 and 2, just in summary, they went there, they used their talents, and they multiplied. What happened with the servant that had 1 talent? Who remembers?